got that weird show feeling. It's going to be weird, I think.
You were going all in on the Dortmund clothing now. Is that all you wear for shows now?
I have two items. I got deals on both, as I tend to do. So
Yeah, yeah. Unless you're at a game, at which
this
point
is
you are
it.
the biggest mark on earth.
This is like a 13-year-old reference. It doesn't apply anymore. Um,
Triple the price? I think I will buy
I'm
it today.
smarter about things now. I know what I'm doing. It just doesn't apply. This is US Fan TV. We talk about soccer as it relates to the United States of America. I am Pat. He is Chris.
The man, the myth, the legend of things that are not legendary. That is me. I am Chris.
Speaking of Dortmund, which I'm wearing the polo shirt, uh, that I
What is that
actually
in German? We need to ask Sandra or somebody what is
how to
polo
say
shirt in
polo
German?
shirt in German.
Yeah. Shirten Sie Polen? The polo?
I don't know. Um, Speaking of Dortmund 3, Hamburg 0 in a matchup that saw Christian Pulisic, or we should say Wonderboy, face off against Bobby Wood back from injury. Pulisic looked very good. He was heavily involved in the build-up to the second goal and scored the third, which was Dortmund's 3,000th goal in the Bundesliga, which makes me want to call him Mr. 3000. I can't speak tonight, Mr. 3000, which made me think of the time that you and I were in the movie Mr. 3000.
Indeed. Or at least supposedly we are in the movie. I don't think our scenes ever made it.
I thought I could find us in one shot, but I think I was just kidding myself. I don't think we really were in it. But we were in the stands, and we were doing the things that they were telling us to do. We were in the crowd,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah, that
would
was a
move
crazy
us.
it was a crazy night.
They would move the crowd because there weren't enough of us. So they just needed the crowd to be behind the camera all the time when they were shooting that movie. It's the Bernie Mac baseball movie. If you haven't seen it, God bless you. God rest your soul, Bernie Mac. I'm sorry for what I did that night to you. The movie is not that good, but I'm proud to be in it. So we're calling Christian Pulisic Mr. 3000.
Does that make well, not the Mr. 3000 reference, but if Pulisic is Wonder Boy, does that make Bobby Wood Young Nasty Man? Going
Maybe.
all in on the Tenacious D references.
Bobby Wood was
This is
not
probably
happy.
10 years past anyone could even remember what I'm talking about.
Bobby Wood was not happy after that match. It was
Wow.
I won't say he played poorly because you need service if you're a forward to
Yeah.
show anything, and I don't remember many times where he actually had the ball.
No, I mean Dortmund was very clearly in control of that game.
They haven't allowed a goal this
Yeah, how
Bundesliga
about that?
season. They somehow let Tottenham score, though, which I still am trying to figure out. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around that. So for everybody who thought, oh my God, is Pulisic going to give up his starting spot? Is he going to uh, is he in a slump? Is it over? Is the dream over? No. He started on the left and then moved over to the right when there was a substitution, and then he scored. So no, he's fine. He's very good. He's 19, and 19 has started the same way 18 did by scoring goals. So, yeah, nothing to worry about. He'll be fine. He's awesome. He is Wonder Boy. Bobby Wood, he'll be fine too. He's that's playing against a different caliber team. And Bobby's gonna, I'm sure, be fine going forward too. Didn't get a lot of service in the game. After the game, it was funny listening to the two. Both of them were pulled aside to do the interviews. Pulisic was polished as usual, which is still shocking considering how young he is. Wood was like, he could tell he didn't want to be there. You could tell he's nowhere near as polished doing interviews as Pulisic, and he was more like, yeah, I don't whatever. It sounded like our show. It sounded like our show, and Pulisic sounded like, I don't know, something professional. So, but yeah,
Pulisic sounded like not our show. Whatever like not our show is.
and from what I heard, SportsCenter led with it. One of the Sports Centers did, and they still did the thing where they make fun of the fact that they're leading with soccer. I didn't actually see this myself. I saw people complaining about it on Twitter. So good for you. ratings in decline. Keep making fun of soccer guys, like you're a New York WFAN talk show host or something. God, idiots. So yeah, it's another solid performance for Pulisic, and it just the hype train just keeps rolling.
He did have a goal. I don't think we noted that already. So
we did, yeah. He scored the third goal.
Yeah.
It was the 3,000.
Did we say that?
Yes.
Oh yeah. You did say that before. I forgot.
You're heavily involved in this show today, aren't you?
Sometimes what you say just goes right past me. I just don't even think about it. Don't hear it. Don't consider it.
I could tell. Anything you'd like to say, since you're not paying attention to what I'm saying?
Fuck ESPN. I'm reading the comments, seeing what people have to say. Fuck ESPN. Yes, right on, Hunter. We'll add that to the end.
Yeah, except for Bob Lee.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Bob Lee.
I like Taylor
Bob
Twellman.
Lee's awesome.
I like Taylor Twellman.
Taylor Twellman is probably the best U.S. soccer commentator.
Yeah. I like when Ian Dark works for them, because I'm a big Ian Dark fan. So there's some good things about ESPN.
You cannot write a script like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest problem with them, because like whatever, if they want to make jokes, or it really means nothing to me. My biggest problem is I liked their broadcasts of like international games better. I like the fact that it could be seen by more people. I mean, for so long, FS1, BN Sport, these were like hard to get channels. You know, few people had them, and here we were, you know, trying to find games there.
My choices on BN Sport are standard def, or I have to watch their games on the app, which is about 50-50 to actually work if I want high def. So I choose the standard def, and it's standard def letterboxed for some bizarre reason, like it's in a movie aspect ratio. I don't know why it comes across that way, but that's what Comcast gives us. And then I still don't get Fox Sports 2. So this weekend when I think Bayern and Dortmund are both on Fox Sports 2 this weekend, I won't be able to see either unless I queue up my old friend Illegal Stream because there's NASCAR.
Where'd you meet him?
The men's room. But there's math. It was better. You need to give me more credit for that joke. Stream, men's room. Got no reaction. You weren't even paying attention to what I said again.
I was just putting my head down and ignoring it.
Yeah, so that's just a complaint. Maybe it gets worked out in the next. Well, I hope by next summer's World Cup, because I'm guaranteeing they put some of the games on Fox Sports 2, right? I mean, if you're running a bunch of games at once, you use Big Fox.
I assume they've got to. Yeah, I assume they've got to do something like that. We'll see how that turns out. I guess you could say Fox's soccer coverage is getting better, but I don't know. I wasn't impressed.
It's fine.
Anything last summer, that's for sure. I hope they do a little more selling or a little more advertising around the World Cup next summer than they did around the Copa last year.
As far as like the look of their product, it's still a poor quality video feed. When I worked for the FOX, our high def was 720. I don't know if they've switched that. Yeah, they wouldn't do 1080. I don't know if they've switched that since, but it doesn't look like it. And Fox has a lot of things on the cheap, but I will say certain things they do cheaply still work out. Like their little Bundesliga set that looks like a German beer hall. Yeah. Obviously they spent only slightly more than Men in Blazers spent on their set, but it looks good. And then you go to NBC for the Premier League and they've got that vast ESPN looking set in Connecticut, which is, obviously way better and nicer, but that little Bundesliga set is kind of cool, I think. So sometimes when they go cheap, they still do well. I hope they don't go cheap on the World Cup, though. I hope they blow it out and do it right, give it what it deserves.
I'm not holding my breath.
They'll have Frank Caliendo doing impressions of like...
Of course, if we don't win a couple games coming up here, I don't think it's going to matter.
Oh, you'll still watch it, though, won't you?
I'll still watch, but I will be much more critical and less. I won't. Well, I won't be invested really at all. I mean, I'll just be trying to like win a pool or something. But
You'll be cheering against Mexico and Italy, I'm sure.
that's true. That's always the case.
I don't know. The Dutch are usually my my backup team, and they're probably not going to make it. So
Yeah.
it's not good. I'll cheer for the Germans. I guess they'd be my third, but that's like cheering for, the Cowboys or Yankees or somebody. Cowboys are a bad example these days, but I am part German, so it makes sense that I would cheer for the Germans. The Irish aren't there ever, really. So Thierry Henry makes sure of that. But so I have to cheer for the Germans, but it just feels weird because they're too good. So that's kind of what I like about cheering for the U.S. We're not good. We're usually better than this, but we're not, grand scheme of things.
They're still messy to watch. Still be Neymar to watch.
Hey, Alex makes a good point. They did a really nice set for the Women's World Cup in 2015, and that was Fox, right? I remember Alexi, and yeah, that was Fox. It was a nice set they had in Vancouver. So there's hope that they will do a really nice job in the Soviet Union for next year's World Cup. Whether we are there or not, Fox will be there, I'm sure. What else, you guys? It's a slow night.
Yeah, I saw somebody comment on Josh Sargent. We could talk about the U17 lineup that's been announced, or roster that's been announced. One of the players being Josh Sargent, who, as we talked about months ago, is officially going to Werder Bremen now. But he's not going until he turns 18 in February, I think it is, which makes me wonder then, will he be playing in the January camp?
Maybe. Why not?
I mean, I think it goes two ways. One, I guess there's always, will Bruce do it? But the other, I guess, is would Werder Bremen allow it, or do they expect that he's in certain training specifically under their guidance?
Maybe they want him there. They want him.
But like I want him there. See what the kid can do.
You want him in Germany, or you want him in the Camp Cupcake?
No. I want him in Camp Cupcake. If he's not already, if he's still got a few weeks until he can be in Germany, let him be here and see what happens.
If I were him, I would rather be in Germany, taking classes to learn the language, learning where I live, where the training ground is, meeting people, getting comfortable before I actually have to start playing soccer in February. So.
But can he do all that at the time? I don't know what the rules are around. Like, I mean, if his family's just so wealthy that whatever, he can go, like, somebody can go over there with him. Because I don't know that at 17. I mean, I went to Europe by myself at 19, but like barely 19, I guess. But I don't know. I'd traveled a lot as a kid. And was at least in college at that point. I don't know at 17, 17 and a half or something, that you could have just dumped me in Europe, especially in a country that you don't speak the language.
Oh, Sandra's right. He's got to be 18 years old because he doesn't have a European passport. So,
yeah.
And that's why it's February that he has to.
Yeah. But so my point is, like, he might be able to go over there. If like somebody from one of his parents can go over with him for months at a time.
We saw with Mark Pulisic going over there.
Kind of, yeah. But what I mean is even like beyond the Mark was able to go because the club was able to find a job for him. But like if one of his parents could just go and it's sort of a 3-month vacation, and by the way, he quietly gets to train or something, but it's not official, and he's not a true member. He's just a kid who he's effectively like a ball boy or something, but he gets to train with the team. Okay, that's one thing. But I don't know where the rules stand that can he not show up? Like, can he not officially be on their grounds until he turns 18? That I don't know.
Well, I mean, he could didn't he already do a training session with them?
I think he did something.
Yeah, I think he could be. I don't think it's the NCAA. I think he could be there. I just don't think he could play. So yeah, so it's in the rest of the roster. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you and say that I know all of those names, but it's a lot of the same names that we saw before that did a really nice job in the qualifiers leading up to it. Andrew Carrollton, Josh Sargent, Tim Weah, Indiana was the dog's name. Baslev, is that his last name?
I think that's right. Yes.
So guys we've seen before, guys who may end up on the senior team sooner rather than later. I don't know. I mean, these guys really clicked when they played last, so maybe they
Yeah.
can make a run and do something. And
Well, the big thing of
give us some
interest to me
hope.
about this, yeah, and that's kind of it. The big thing of interest to me about this is that I think you could be looking at guys who are pushing to be on the full squad in 4 years, 4.5 right now, whatever. Um, and if it is if it is Qatar at the time, we'll see. You know, as we've noted, as all these graphs, if you go look on the internet, have noted, our team is very old, and there aren't a lot of guys in that window between like roughly 30 and 22. And there's a big gap in there, and there aren't a lot of those guys on the young end of that squad anyway. We got to start finding future generations, the next generation, or even the generation after that, to take their place. And there is some promising talent coming up. So, you know, one of the cool things about I think this lineup and seeing them in their World Cup right now, or in 2 weeks' time, whatever it works out to. I don't remember what the day of the first game is, but in just a few weeks anyway, you will you have the chance to kind of see what the future might be, and who could suddenly be pushing for minutes with the real team in a year's time.
Did Sports Fan just say that Raheem Sterling is better than Christian Pulisic? Really? Who's 4 years older, who Liverpool didn't even really want?
I would not say that Sterling is better than him. I'm
Yeah.
not that impressed by Sterling. Like Sterling,
No.
I think is fast, but I don't think his close control is that great. Not to say that Pulisic is either, but I mean he has decent. I think
Pulisic
they
is a
both have
lot
a
younger than
decent
him.
first touch. But yeah, there is the fact that he does have years of growth to catch up too. But Sterling, to me, I didn't quite understand why City wanted him when they got him. I certainly didn't understand the Arsenal swap for him, potential swap for him with Alexis. It didn't make any sense to me. To me, he's maybe a prettier Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain.
You know what his middle name is, right?
Who's?
Shaquille.
Oh,
Yeah. He was born in 94. Shaq came into the league in 92. So there you go. Raheem Shaquille Sterling. Shaq attack. Must have been basketball fans, I guess. Yeah. So what's the first game? Is it October 6th? Is that right? I believe that's right.
that is our next qualifier. I don't.
No,
I
no, no.
think.
The World Cup.
Yeah, I think that's like the 11th, maybe
Is it?
something like that. I haven't looked at it in I don't know a week or something, so I don't remember exactly. But I
Yeah.
think it's roughly a week after our next qualifier.
We should ask the people who do the internet show about the team. They would know when the dates are. I don't know when the dates are. Look, somebody out here will know. On the 6th versus India, I was right.
Oh, hey, well there you
Look
go.
at that.
Oh, damn it! What? I gotta see. I'm thinking about taking that day off because that's the day of my closing on my house. Um,
You should probably be at that.
then I can sign all the paperwork ahead of time. I don't have to be there, but whatever. Um, taking that day off, and then I can like watch this, get ready for the U.S. game later that night, later that day, whatever. Hopefully, it will go well.
So these games
I
that
won't.
since they're in India, it'll be at like 2:30 in the morning,
It's
right?
early in the morning. Yeah, I don't
And
remember
today,
exactly. I don't remember if a time has been announced, but it is early in the morning.
it's right in that window where staying up late would kind of suck, and getting up early is.
Yeah, it kind of defeats the purpose of both. Where it's like if this was a Friday night, maybe okay, or a Saturday or something. But yeah, where it's like Thursday night. I got I got my kids.
Sports fans saying, how come nobody has paid $60 million for Pulisic if he's so great? Wait until after the World Cup. We'll see what he goes for. I hope he stays at Dortmund, though. I hope he does not go to the Premier League. I do not think that would help him. I think it would bring him down to go to the Premier League.
Yeah, I don't think it would help him progress. The one thing I do think it might help him do is learn how to cope with guys just hacking apart his ankles.
Yeah.
As he's facing in CONCACAF. He's definitely going to take harder hits in the Premier League than he is in the Bundesliga, in Spain for the most part. Maybe not some of the true hack teams in La Liga, but
he's obviously
yeah.
Sports fan is obviously just trolling, and he's a Man City fan, so he just learned about soccer recently, probably. So, were you there when they were getting? Were you there before
like a hockey fan in Chicago?
The oil men moved in there, friend? Hey, now there are people who like hockey in Chicago before they started winning. I better take this Man City team. They got like North Carolina jerseys. Pretty colors. I think they might be good. Yeah, they weren't for a long time.
I will give them, though, they do have what I think is the greatest chant.
Which is what?
The Yaya Kolo Toure chant.
Yes, you've been talking about that all day.
It's because I was watching like crazy chant videos, which has just made me laugh over things. But it did remind me. Like, I've actually been thinking about this, like that I wanted to go look into what does it take to make a great chant? Because I have my thoughts on it, but I did a little internet sleuthing, and in about 5 minutes of research found that there are people who actually study this, like what makes a song catchy and what makes a crowd decide that this is the song they're going to sing, and they latch onto it. I kind of want to go like talk to some of these people and I don't know, pick their brains on like why is it? Why do certain things? They say that everything has to be within like one octave. It can't be more than like 6 or 7 notes or something, which is part of why like Seven Nations Army, it's only 7 notes. So like it fits right into like anyone can sing it. You don't have to understand anything to pick it up.
There's
what I enjoy.
Chant Fan TV for you there tonight.
Yeah.
I like a good creative chant. I don't like, we in American team sports do a lot of the Let's Go Red Sox type variants, and that's just stupid. You can do better than that. I like a chant with a burn in it, which you never AO would never do anymore. They've
when we used to do Dirty Sanchez at Osvaldo Sanchez, that was always fun. I love the hockey thing of like you just hammer the other team's goalie after a goal. I enjoy that. I wish there was more things like that where we just pick on somebody. I like when they're a little bit, it's not necessarily that they have to be like off color, but just like a little bit aggressive or something. Kind of like I've said here, like I don't hate it's classless, but I don't hate that like Mexicans chant Osama. I want there to be some kind of extra emphasis, extra weight to the game, to the presence of being there. I want there to be a little bit of anger or a little bit of meaning on the line.
No, we don't want to ban Sports Fan. You guys can handle talking to him if he just wants to troll. I don't even know if there's a way to ban him, but I like a good troll.
Like we're just kind of messing with him too.
Yeah. I like a good troll, and he doesn't seem dumb. He seems a little crazy, but he doesn't seem dumb. I like that he can string a sentence together, which is helpful.
Better than most of the internet.
You guys are a smarter group of people than the most of the internet, though. You guys can write, which we appreciate. It helps. Yeah, but
he says he's not trolling. He is serious.
That you're comparing what is Raheem Sterling? 23? Somebody will know.
23, 24, 25. It's somewhere right in there. I don't remember exactly.
It's not a comparison. You compare him to Mbappe? Yeah, Mbappe's better, but for now, playing in League One. So, Ligue 1. So, yeah, Pulisic's playing for a top 10 in the world club. I guess Mbappe is now too. But it's a different animal. I mean, it's a team built. He's playing for a team that's built for the Champions League because they win the domestic league every year, except for last year. Except for last year when Mbappe won it with Monaco. So he's a good player. Right? I'm not saying he's better than him.
Or bought. He didn't win it, but
I'm not saying he's not Messi.
Yeah.
But he's very good. He's not he's not even overrated, I don't think, unless you're saying that he's going to be Messi. I think that's putting a little bit too much on him. But to say that he's the best player at 19 that we've ever produced by far is not off at all. It's it.
Hershey Messi.
Yeah.
Hershey
he's not better
Messi.
than, you're right though, Jim. He's not better than Wando. I mean, that's not, Wando is going to be MLS's all-time leading scorer. We don't want to
forever.
This is sarcasm if you're not sure.
I heard they're just going to rename the trophies all just the Wando. Like whatever, the Golden Boot, the
Yeah, will he be world class? Will he be top 10 in the world? I don't know. I think he's our best opportunity ever to become that. I think he's the best shot we've ever had. He's the only real shot we've ever had. So
to me, like even that talk, like so what? You know, he doesn't have to still be great. There are plenty of guys who will go down in history as having never won a Ballon d'Or or even a Champions League trophy or something. You know, they've missed out on lots of things. They're not World Cup winners, but they're still phenomenal players. I mean, Steven Gerrard, as much as I will trash Liverpool forever, Steven Gerrard is probably the best box-to-box midfielder I've ever seen. That guy was incredible. Actually, another Liverpool guy. I will also say Ian Rush, also amazing. But both of them not going down in history as, you know, one of the greatest players of a year in which they played. I could go on with a number of others, you know, and I guess the point is just that you don't have to be, if he never turns into even, you know, 10 best in the world, maybe he's only in the top 50, which I don't think is asking too much or, you know, projecting too much on him. To just be in the top 50, he could still be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, is Kevin De Bruyne in the top 10 in the world right now, or Mesut Ozil? Maybe not.
Probably
but
not.
Those are awesome players.
Yeah.
So I mean, you don't have to be, and I don't know if they're. I don't know what the cutoff is for world class.
Them, you know?
Yeah, both would be easily the best players we've ever produced. But Timothy had a good point. I think that the ceiling for Pulisic is Arjen Robben. I think that is the player that he reminds me the most of, and that's best case scenario maybe for him. So, and that would be a very, very good best case scenario.
Yeah, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's for sure. Let's hope he can get a penalty against Mexico in the World Cup. Then. That's best case scenario.
Yeah. Sorry, Tim. There you go. Not Timothy. All right. What else? Is there anything left, guys? I feel like I knew this was going to be a short show. It could turn into a weird show.
We haven't noted that Tab Ramos and Bruce Arena both celebrate birthdays today.
Happy birthday, guys. Strange
that should Tab be Bruce's successor, that we could have two coaches in a row with the same birth date. Birthday, not birth date, I guess. Since technically Tab is 15 years younger.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure we'll do plenty of shows about who should take over for Bruce. I'd be fine with Tab, just like I was fine with Bruce. But I don't know that I'd be excited for Tab.
I mean, you know, we'll get into this either in a month's time, maybe less, or in 9 months' time. But yeah, my hope is that we go for some kind of big picture guy again. In that regard, I value what Klinsmann. I value his ideas. I just didn't value him in action. I hope we either, you know, go for some kind of big picture, and then maybe you do something like Tab as the manager, but some big picture guy who works like as a technical director or something. In that case, hey, I'm willing to look at new things, but I want to see experimentation and a return to something like the ideas that Klinsmann had. We didn't execute on them.
Yeah, agreed. It's, Klinsmann said all the right things, and he actually had good ideas, which people will criticize us for saying, but he did. Big picture ideas he was very good at. Changing the NCAA, parent coaching licenses for the very youth ages so that kids aren't getting screwed up right away and they're not being driven away. Small sided games, keeping it fun early, and then pushing yourself and once you're fully committed, pushing yourself and making it more challenging later. That's the right idea. He had the right ideas. He confused the shit out of us when he was, putting lineups out. And I think he confused his own players, which was a big problem. But big picture wise, he was good. We need a big picture guy who can help, because Bruce isn't the guy, and a guy like Bruce isn't, another MLS guy, except maybe Pareja would be good to kind of drive it forward. But these MLS guys, I don't think they're going to drive it forward. I don't think they're the guys that are going to help us make a jump. I think it would just be more of the same, more of the Bob Bradley, Bruce Arena type stuff, which is fine, but it's not good enough in my view. So,
some of the viewers are talking about like Martino from Atlanta. We certainly talked about Pareja before, out of Dallas. They're both. There are certainly options out there, even within MLS, but are they kind of, I don't know, worthy of taking the next step, sort of like Klinsmann intended to, or like USSF intended when they signed Klinsmann? I don't know. One of the things, like, I'd still like Klinsmann as a figurehead. As a face, he was great.
Yeah,
like, he got us entree with German players who could have gone either way, but come on, he's a national hero. Of course they're going to take a phone call from him. Whether they're truly interested or not, it at least got us in the door. I think you could do maybe the same thing with somebody who has connections with Mexico or somewhere in Latin America, where you can get the name, and in that regard, maybe Herrera is a possibility. Where you get somebody who has some sort of affinity with players who might go either way, and you start looking at, not that I mean, look, I don't forever want to build our team off of players born in other countries, and that's not to say that I have a problem with those players. It's that you want to see us not having to rely on other countries to create our
they're added bonuses. They're not necessities.
Yeah, exactly. If we have the opportunity and they're available, by all means. But we can't have it be half our team, or we can't have it be a huge percentage of our team, because in the end, it means you're not building your own home program. And maybe that's even what Bruce was trying to say when everyone said he was like against foreign players. It's not about necessarily where you were born so much as it's about growing your home program. And the more homegrown players you have, the more there's proof that I think you're growing that program. So I don't know, but look, there'll always be players who have dual citizenship, and why shouldn't, if the opportunity's there and if they're players who would fit with our team, why wouldn't we want them?
Sports Fan says our best dual national right now is John Brooks, probably, and we're not counting Pulisic. Yes, I agree with that. Probably Brooks.
I mean, if Fabian can get everything back together, it's certainly him. But he is showing either age or, I think, more like, injuries and maybe some age too. Just because he is it'll be 30, I think, by the World Cup. I think he's still 29, right? Or is he 30? I don't remember.
He is 29.
He'll be 30 within the calendar year. So, he at that age, you've got a lot of years of wear and tear on you, and it's starting to catch up. When you hit, there is kind of a wall around 30 that when you hit, you just don't recover as quickly. and maybe he's run up against that, which I think is part of why he said he's probably done internationally after this next World Cup.
You know what's funny about that too is that goalkeepers obviously last a lot longer than field players. Goalkeepers are diving and taking bangs, but it shows you that it's the running that wears you down. It's the running that breaks you down. It's not the diving so much. Having to dive 5 times in a game is not like having to run 8 kilometers.
10 miles.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what's.
Or getting kicked and tripped and falling down. I mean, goalies may dive 13 times or whatever it was in a game like Howard against Belgium, but when you consider guys are out there making diving headers and stuff too, you could be on the field making maybe half to a third as many dives as your goalie and still be running for 90 minutes and still be taking a pounding, still be getting tripped, still you get your ankles hacked and or your knees smashed. That's a hell of a lot harder than a dive you chose to take. It's much like a ball can give you a concussion if it hits you in the head and you're not prepared for it, or you can smash the hell out of it with a header and you can be fine because you were prepared for
it. Diego just asked, he said the U.S. will miss the World Cup. Thoughts on that? Sportsfan says there's an 80% chance we'll qualify. Yeah, I think that's about right. I think 75 to 80% chance we will make it, but there's a big enough chance we won't make it that I don't like it. So,
yeah, I mean, all we truly need, I mean, officially, we need a victory in the game on the 6th, and we need a win over Panama on the 6th, and a result against TNT to assure 3rd place. But really, a victory over Panama, we're all but in. Because if you look at the games that are going on with the other teams, nobody has an easy schedule of the teams that we're competing against. They all have to play Costa Rica or Mexico. Now, there is the chance that because Mexico and Costa Rica are qualified at that point, presumably, that they may not take it as seriously. So there is the chance that maybe they get a fluke victory against one of them because they're just not trying then. But all in all, you have to say their road is much harder than ours. All we really have to do is make up the ground there because Honduras effectively can't catch us. Technically speaking, TNT could make it, but it's such an extreme long shot. Like they'd have to win both their games, and they'd have to do it by such a margin that they can overcome whatever it is, -11 goal differential right now or something like that. So they're all but eliminated. Any sort of result against Panama all but assures that we're at least getting 4th place.
But obviously, Panama is not a guaranteed win. As we've seen with this team, I mean, we saw it was not as good of a U.S. team as is going to be out there in Orlando, but we saw a Panama fight for a draw against us in Nashville. Yeah. Panama's not a terrible team, and we've been atrocious lately at times. So I'm not at all. If I was betting money, I would say we probably will win, but I'm not extremely confident we'll win that game. And then it's, you're going into not Port of Spain. They moved it, which I wonder what happened to all those people.
It's a much smaller stadium now. Yeah.
They're not expecting
like
as big of a crowd.
10,000 seat or something.
I think it's like 2 hours down the road from Port of Spain. So maybe
I really wanted to go to that game. I wanted to go to that game and the Orlando game. Had my house sold like 2 weeks earlier, or closed 2 weeks earlier. Like if it was closing now, I might just do it. But
you're like a goddamn.
Unfortunately, I can't.
Story of your life. I would love to go to an away match in TNT at some point. I think that'd be a fun one. It's got to be a long flight though. I'm guessing.
I doubt it. I mean,
well, you're off the coast of Venezuela at that point.
Yeah.
So it took 6 hours to get to St. Martin, and you still have to go all the way down the chain of islands down to the last one.
But I mean, really, once you're in the air and moving, though, like once you're kind of at cruising altitude, the distance is covered much faster. So you're still looking at what your plane's going almost 500 miles an hour. So
Yeah, I know all these facts, but it's
it's
still
not
it's
it's
a
not that
long
much.
distance.
It's not that much farther.
And I also don't know how many direct flights there are from American
Yeah,
cities into.
I mean, you probably have to
Probably
fly
a
to like
Miami thing.
Miami or something,
Yeah.
and then yeah.
But that
Which
said,
I think that's what the travel package was. Like if you flew with AO, if you're going with AO, I think it is out of Miami. I think you have to get to Miami, and then maybe travel packages from Miami or something like that. I looked into it, but I don't remember what it said.
we have to do one of those away qualifiers soon. We always say we will, and then something happens. So we will. We will. Since, we're not likely to go to the next two World Cups. Now, I'm not saying our team may or may not be there, but I don't really want to go to Russia. I kind of would, but I kind of wouldn't. And I definitely don't want to go to Qatar. Fuck them. So
I don't know which one will be worse. Like they're both. I mean, Qatar is at least on the like friendly side of the Middle East. Of course, some of that is that if you have money, you're sort of eliminated from all the bad things there. Like enough money, because I mean, you can say the same thing about the United States, but um, it like you they're a slave state. Like
yeah, that's my problem. I don't think they're producing terrorists at the same
yeah,
rate
yeah.
that some other Middle Eastern countries are, but they're shitholes. They're not. I don't want to go there. I don't want to. What do you?
Fund a slave state, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna give me a designated area where I can drink a beer? No, fuck you. I'm not going. I'm not going there.
It's
Um,
probably it's probably an unmarked grave.
the World Cup we should have gone to. Well, there's two: Germany and Brazil. Those were the two to go
Yeah,
to, and we
yeah.
fucked that up. So that's our fault. All right, this is US Fan TV. The website is usfantv.com. We have Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and they are all US Fan TV. We hate Snapchat, and we're not doing it. And you guys know where to find us on Craigslist. We have YouTube, but you know that, right? Because you're watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed in the last 2 weeks. We have picked up like 50 new people. So that's very cool. Thank you for that. If you don't know, we do these shows Tuesday night and Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time or thereabouts. Chris, do you have any final words?
No. Fuck Wando. Fuck Snapchat. What was our other fuck something tonight? I was trying to look it up, but I
ESPN,
couldn't
I
get
think
to
it was.
Fuck ESPN, that's
yeah.
right. And you're done.
All right. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. You're done.
See you, everybody. Thanks.